Hey everyone, and welcome back to Lively Healthy Fit. I'm Ashley, and I'm glad you're here. Today is the big week 2 weigh-in. Oh, so much going on. Let's get into it. So this week was good. Started working out. I didn't get my second video up last week like I said I would, but it's coming. Last week, I went back to work for one day, and then this week kicks off like back into the regular scheduled programming of my life, which is homeschooling my 4 kids. And I also teach a couple days a week other kids who are homeschooled. My older 2 boys play for a competitive basketball league. Then I have another kid who does karate and another who does gymnastics. So my life is constantly feel like a pinball sometimes, here, there, everywhere, bouncing around. You would think homeschool, I would get to be home a lot, but I've found that's quite the opposite. I have to really fight for days to be at home. Also issues last week, I didn't fully plan through the busyness of starting back with basketball games and work, and I ate a lot of pistachios one day. I did not eat off plan. I stayed keto or low carb, but eating too many nuts can really hinder weight loss and fat loss. Sometimes the carbs in those add up, the fat in those add up, and the issue with nuts is you tend to eat more than like a handful or a serving. Last week, I also had a few diet drinks, had a Coke Zero one day. I was starting to get a migraine, and a dear friend brought me one to kind of help subside my headache. I had a few Diet Dr. Peppers as well as a Dr. Zevia, or Zevia. Some people call it Zevia. But if you're going to drink like a diet soda, I highly recommend Zevia products because they are sweetened with, not Splenda, with stevia, hence the name. And there's no artificial coloring or anything like that. So they are the better option, but that was only one day. So again, this month, I'm not counting macros of any kind. I'm just trying to hit my protein goal every day and really listen to how my body feels. And the reason why I started this whole journey off, especially in the month of January, not being so restrictive is because that never works well for me in the beginning of trying to get my life and health on the same track. Usually when I'm trying to hit certain macros or do this or that, or even following a challenge, I thought about doing Maria Emmerich's PSMF challenge this month. And then I know some ladies who are keto on Instagram were doing a 30-day squeaky clean challenge. But January is just a very hectic month for me between starting back to work, coming off the holidays. I also do some coaching, and I have a couple. I said I wasn't going to do any coaching, but I did have a couple ladies come to me who just needed help getting through this month. And so I took on a couple clients. I'm starting a new job, another part-time teaching job. So it's just a lot. And then my kids' schedule is crazy. This is the last month of basketball. There's a lot of travel. We're heading out of state for a tournament in a couple weeks. So trying to stick to someone else's monthly menu, I knew was not going to work well for me this month. But I am open to doing that maybe in February or March when things kind of settle a little bit more. So we'll see. So this month, it's just me staying on plan as the goal. I do some intermittent fasting, but there are days where I'll wake up and I'll feel a little more hungry than normal, so I'll eat. So my goal this month is just to stay on plan, do what I need to do to stay on plan, even if it's not perfect. Like last night, I had way too much dairy. If you look at my YouTube shorts or even over on TikTok or Instagram, I posted a little meal I randomly whipped up, but it was so good. And it uses the palmini noodles. So even though those are low carb, the amount that I ate combined with the little bit of cream cheese, the butter and mozzarella, even all that, though that is considered part of keto or even, and the low carb, I think my carb count for that meal was too high for the meal itself to be counted as keto. So, but it's still low carb. So for me, That's good enough. And it was delicious, scrumptious, and I slept well. I was very hungry yesterday. You can probably see I have a little breakout here and over here. I just don't think it's fair to be 42 and to be battling wrinkles and such and still get breakouts, but that is hormones. That's the other issue coming into the end of last week and coming into this week is I am getting close to my cycle because I'm 42 and I'm kind of in that weird perimenopause phase, I think. I could start today, I could start in 3 days, but for all I know, it could be a whole other week. And so my hormones, I can tell, have just been kind of bleh. And when I get kind of bleh, I get kind of lazy and just get in a funk. And then I start feeling overwhelmed with all that consumes my life as being a wife and a mom and working and trying to take care of myself, let alone everybody else. Like most moms, I end up putting myself last and putting everyone else before me. But my goal for 2023 is to really care for myself and to really do what I need to do to be healthy and to be my best self overall, from physical type side of things, spiritually, mentally. I've said this over and over. It's about all over health, which is why it's lively, healthy, fit, and not just on the weight loss. And mentioning of weight loss, I weighed in yesterday and I lost 1 pound. Now, losing a pound a week is actually great. It's really healthy to lose a pound a week. That's totally normal. But being that it's week 2 and I should have been fully keto, I could have probably lost more. Usually old Ashley would have gotten on that scale and only losing a pound would have devastated me. And I would have felt like a failure because I only lost 1 pound. But instead, I'm honest with myself. I know that that scale can't tell me everything. I know that I did a lot more strength training last week than I have been previously doing, and that can make you carry extra water weight. And also when you start gaining muscle, you're gonna see fluctuations on the scale. Also because I ate a lot of nuts, I drank a lot of diet soda, had some more dairy than I probably should, that can make the scale not show a full story. And then also because I'm hormonal, that's a whole other thing. So who even knows what the scale is going to say next week if I do start this week? Oh, we'll see, but I'm not stressing out about it. I also know that because that scale is just a number, it can't tell everything. I know that that's why it's important that we take measurements. And so that's exactly what I did. Hopped off the scale, grabbed the measuring tape and measured myself, and oh my gosh, y'all, at the inches I've already lost in 2 weeks. Like, I'm really mind blown. But a lot of that was because I was so bloated from all the carbs, the grains, the sugars and stuff that my body was just inflamed. And so now that I haven't had all of that, even though I have had some inflammatory things this last week, the inches were still gone. So I was pretty pumped about that. Now, I'm not going to tell you how many inches I've lost yet because I will do that once a month. So 2 more weeks and I'll reveal all that I lost in this 4-week time. And I'll also be trying on that pink shirt and those jeans again. But what I will do at the end of this video is I'm going to post a before and after photo of 2-3 weeks ago, whenever, maybe even the October video with the pink shirt and the jeans, and then today, just so you can physically see how much of my middle, my belly, is gone. I even lost in my hips, which I am a thick girl. I got big hips, big thick thighs, and a big old booty. Always have. And so that is always the hardest spot for me to lose. So I was quite pleasantly surprised. So I'm happy with this week, especially looking back and seeing what I did and what I didn't do and what was still accomplished. I'm fine with that. I'm looking forward to this week. I really, really, really have just got to push myself out of my comfort zone, get out of my house, go for these walks when the weather's nice. The sun's out now, so the plan is to head for a walk after I film this video and get into the gym and do strength training as often as I can now that we are back into the hecticness that is life as a homeschool mom with 4 kids and all of their activities. So I'm going to do my best. Don't know what Miss Flo's going to do. I hope she comes sooner than later so I can get it over with and move on. This whole stage of perimenopause has not been fun. But that's another reason why I really want to get healthy and not just lose weight, is so I can really care for my hormones and stuff. But I'm not the kind of person who can just do things cold turkey. I can't just go from point A to Z and be fine. I work better in small steps, making little changes here and then adding them on to get me to a place. But usually what ends up happening is I get really overwhelmed. I don't know if that overwhelmness is my ADHD, or if it's like my depression or my trauma responses that I have, or the combination of the two, highly likely. But usually when I get really overwhelmed, I get, they say fight or flight. I tend to get in flight mode. I run from things. If it was my way, I'd have a pause button where I could just pause life and chill out in my bed for 3 days alone, but I don't have that pause button. So I usually just kind of feel paralyzed, like I can't do anything. And then I will start emotionally eating. And so right now the goal is to not do that. I'm taking the right vitamins and supplements to help my ADHD and depression and anxiety and stuff, to do it from a healthy way. I'm also trying to focus on better nutrition to help with that as well. And, little baby steps is all I can do. So leave me a word of encouragement below if you would. If you struggle with ADHD as a middle-aged woman, or if you have this super crazy hectic life, any tips, tricks that you have that I can glean from, I would love to hear them. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm also over on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, but YouTube is kind of where I would like to chill out and remain, especially as life gets busy. Who knows? Social media is kind of one of those hard things to manage when you're just trying to manage your own life. So give me a follow, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in a few days. I really do need to post this other video because my plans have changed somewhat, and I'm having to look at this journey through a completely different lens than I had anticipated. And so I need to get that out there, but I don't want to make these videos too long because I'm busy, you're busy, and we'll keep it short and sweet. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and make sure you stay tuned for the before and after photos.